Hello and welcome to this week's episode of Merricks Garage, stage 1 of the link suspension swap. I have pulled the axle out. We are getting started. I figured I need some motivation to get this done, and nothing motivates me like having a truck that doesn't run sitting in my driveway. So I pulled the axle out, starting to prep the axle for all the links and everything we're going to be putting on there, and swapping in the locker and the axle shafts and things like that. But also working on the frame and getting the frame prepped to receive all the link bracketry and hardware. So let's go take a look. I'll show you where everything stands and show you what my progress has been and where we're going next. Thanks for watching Merricks Garage. Almost 2 years to the day, I dropped the LQ9 into my Cave 30 Blazer, and since then I haven't done any significant heavy-duty work on the truck. I've done the basic maintenance, upgrades, constant refining, and things like that, but the heavy-duty, moving axles around, dropping engines in, I haven't done that in a while, and I'll be honest, I'd forgotten just how physical it is. There's nothing light about these trucks. The axle is heavy, the tires are heavy, the tools are heavy. But you know what? That's what makes them so awesome. This stuff is nearly indestructible, but it comes with the cost of you've got to bust your butt to do some serious work on this thing. Getting the axle out mechanically is not that difficult. Undo your U-bolts, pull the springs at the front, undo your steering arm, bleed the brakes, get your power steering disconnected, undo the drive shaft, and roll that bad boy out. I could not get the truck high enough to get it out with the 40-inch tires, so I improvised, let some air out, and got about 6 more inches, which I was able to roll into the garage, get up on the jack stands, and get this axle ready. The next part of the process is going to be cutting off all of the extraneous hardware, the perches, the hangers, things like that I'm not going to need with the new link system, and then tearing down the axle to put in the new shafts, put in the locker, put on the hubs, repack the bearings, replace my kingpin, things like that. So it's in the garage. I've got room to work. I got no more excuses. Let's go get it. With the axle out, it's going to be a lot easier to replace the hardware I need to replace and cut off spring pushes and things like that. You can see on the top of my knuckle, I pulled off the arm to check out the kingpin, which to my surprise was in great shape. I'm probably going to replace it with a solid brass bushing anyway, but it was good to see it wasn't deformed and broken too bad. I got some stuff to cut off, spring perches, the high steer mount. I got to relocate my crossover and high steer. The crossover I'm going to be able to keep. The high steer I'm going to move down onto the knuckles. So with the axle out, I've got full access to the frame, and I plan on plating the frame with 1/4-inch plate just to give some more structure and stability to some of the mounts, particularly the shock hoop mounts. I'm going to get to cut off the old bump stops, remove the forward shock towers, remove the rear hangers, just clean it up and get it ready for the link system to go back in. And once I have this dialed and the axle dialed, I'm going to put them all back together and go rally this thing. Giddy up! With the axle out, I'm able to strip off everything that I'm not going to need. I'm going to use the plasma cutter to cut the spring perches, the leaf pads off, remove the old shock mounting hardware, and remove the shock tower. This will get reattached once I figure out where I'm going to configure it on. I spoke earlier about my kingpin. My kingpin bushing is fine. I may or may not replace it. I think I'm probably going to go to a different kingpin bushing just to maybe tighten up the steering a little bit. Those do occasionally break, and when they do, your steering can start to wander quite a bit. Pull out all the hardware, replace all the grease, repack the bearings, things like that, and then tack these guys on. This is the ORD driver side mount. You can see the relief for the axle tube, so it's just gonna key right into where it needs to go. Nice thing, they incorporate everything. I got my bump stop pad, I've got my limiting strap mounts, I've got my shock mounts, and I've got my upper and lower arm mounts on here. Same thing on the driver's side. There is no leaf pad on the passenger side of the Dana 60. It's incorporated into the pumpkin itself. But this relief cutout, this is going to bolt straight into the factory holes, weld it up, paint this thing, throw it back in, go drive over some Priuses. Thanks for watching Merricks Garage. Smash that like button, subscribe, give me a thumbs up. Feedback is always appreciated and helpful. Thanks for watching. I'll see you guys next week. Peace.